أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
is from the Quran. How
Yes.
you're going to prove that the
Mhm.
letter is promised Messiah will be arrive when and where and how and what kind of references you have to prove
Yes, absolutely. As in our previous episodes, which have been published on, our social media platforms, we've been speaking about the advent of a Messiah, the advent of a reformer, a prophet who will bring people back the to God, and who will establish spirituality. We've spoken about different religions like Abrahamic faiths, like Judaism and Christianity, and today Islam. We're going to speak about Islam, and we also spoke about other religions as well, such as Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, and other Chinese religions, and Persian religion as well. So we have spoken about that. All of them in unison are saying that there will be some sort of reformer who will come and reestablish a connection, the lost connection with God, and he will establish truth and spirituality. Islam, being the last religion, um, also is not no exception. Islam also predicts. In fact, there are so many prophecies, Saiful Islam Sahib, that have been mentioned in the Holy Quran as well as in the Ahadith, as you have alluded to, which are the sayings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So the first or set of verses that I want to present is, we spoke about in our one of our previous episodes, one of the signs of coming of this Messiah or reformer would be that there would be chaos in terms of spiritually speaking. So Islam also speaks of that in Surah Ar-Rum, which is 30th chapter of the Holy Quran. God Almighty says in verse number 42, he says, Zahar al-fasadu fil barri wal bahri bima kasabat aydin nasi liyuzikahum ba'dallazi amilu la'allahum yarji'un, which means corruption has appeared on land and sea because of what men's hands have wrought, and that he may make them taste the fruit of some of their doings, so that they may turn back from evil. So here, God Almighty speaking of corruption in the land and sea, which actually refers to the corruption. We could take it in the physical sense of the word as well, but also in spiritual sense of the term, which means there won't be any spirituality left here on the face of the earth. And people won't be following the commandments of God Almighty. And that is a sign of the coming of a man who will bring people back to God, who will reestablish that lost connection with God. Because towards the end of the verse, God Almighty says, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, so that they may turn back from evil. So how they will turn back from evil, that the question, we'll talk about it. But before that, there is a very, very famous hadith or narration of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, which also depicts what's happening in the Muslim Ummah, Saiful Islam Sahib. And if you were to read these words today, you would probably think that the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu sitting here in this day and age and speaking about the Muslims. He says, Yushiku an yati ala nasi zamanun la yabqa min al-islami illa ismuhu wa la yabqa min al-Qur'ani إلا رسمه مساجدهم آمرة وهي خراب من الهدى علماؤهم شر من تحت أديم السماء من عندهم تخرج الفتنة وفيهم تعود, which means a prophetic words of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, a time will come when nothing would be left of Islam except its name, and nothing would be left of the Quran except its script. Their mosques will be filled with worshippers, but would be devoid of guidance and righteousness. Their ulama, their religious scholars, would be the worst creatures under the canopy of the heavens. Evil plots will hatch from them, and then to them they will return. So here, Saiful Islam, as you could see from these prophetic words, that this is the time, the advent of that reformer who will reestablish the unity of Islam, who will bring back to the original teachings of Islam. That's what's being mentioned here by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if we look at the Muslim world today, Saif Sahib, we would see that this is the situation. Although Muslims call themselves to be Muslim, but they're not practicing Muslim. They're not following the teachings of the Holy Quran or following the example of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him. Allah the Almighty, the Holy Prophet Muhammad says that they would recite the Quran, but they would not be acting upon its teaching. And the mosques at that time would be filled with worshippers, as we can see all around the Muslim world. But they are devoid of righteousness. There is no righteousness. And the scholars who are supposed to be the guardian of the faith, who are supposed to teach people the faith, they would be the worst creatures under the heavens. And they will be plotting the evil plans. So here we have it, clear prophecy, Saif Sahib, about the latter days, and we see these prophecies being fulfilled right in front of our eyes.
Dear listeners, it's surprisingly, it's so synonymous with all other prophecies from all other scripture. What Imtiaz Ahmad Sra just quoted from the Quran, it looks like all are same. So Imtiaz Ahmad Sra, is there any other prophecies you want to mention?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Saif Sahib, you just said something very interesting, that all of these religions are saying in one word or another the same prophecies. But that also goes to show that the origin of these different religions is one, coming from God Almighty. Anyways, going back to your point, the prophecy, another prophecy, there's another prophecy we also found in different religions, was solar and lunar eclipses. And Islam also speaks of that. God Almighty says in Surah Al-Qiyamah, verses 8 to 10, فَإِذَا بَرِكَ الْبَصَرُ وَخَسَفَ الْقَمَرُ وَجُمِعَ الشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ, which means when the eye is dazzled and the moon is eclipsed and the sun and the moon are brought together. So in these two verses, clearly the God Almighty is speaking of an event which would happen in the latter days, that is solar and lunar eclipses. And it's important to note that the solar and lunar eclipses happen all the time. One just happened, lunar eclipse happened about 4 or 5 days ago, and next time it would reappear, it would be in 2069. So after 600 years, it's going to reappear. So these eclipses happen all the time. But what point is being made here is that in the latter days, solar and lunar eclipses will occur in the favor of a person who will come from God Almighty, in the support of the truth of the latter-day Messiah or Reformer. And interestingly, Saiful Islam Sahib, there is a very a detailed prophecy given by the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of God be upon him. And in fact, even the dates are mentioned in this prophecy. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, is reported to have said, "Inna limahdiyina ayatain lam takuna munzu khalqi samawati wal ard tankasiful qamaru li awwali laylatin min Ramadan wa tankasu shamsu fi nisfi minhu wa lam takuna munzu khalqi samawati khalqa Allahu samawati wal ard." The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, is reported to have said that the truth of our Mahdi will be attested by two signs, which never appeared in support of any other claimant since the beginning of the world. These are that in the month of Ramadan, the moon will be eclipsed during the first of the nights during which it is subjected to an eclipse, and the sun will be eclipsed on the middle of one of the days in which it is subjected to an eclipse. So these signs never appeared in support of any other claimant since the creation of the heaven and universe. So this is very clearly the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, is saying that in the latter days, Imam Mahdi will come. Imam Mahdi will come, or latter-day reformer will come, the Messiah will come, and God Almighty, to establish his truth, he will show signs, heavenly signs. What are two heavenly signs? One is, both of these signs, first of all, they will occur in the month of Ramadan. And there will be solar and lunar eclipse in the month of Ramadan. And even the dates have been mentioned by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him. So this is a very, very clear prophecy about coming of a reformer and Imam Mahdi who will revive Muslims and revive their faith and spirituality and establish the truth of Islam.